Hey, so I didn't have a video for yesterday, the 24th, but I was really tired. It's at that phase where you kind of think you're over your jet lag, and you're really not, and so that's where I kind of am. Plus I got a little cold, because it was so cold, and yeah, so a quick update on the other videos. They're not loading, so they're going to take like 4,000 minutes to load, so they'll be popping up out of order, as opposed to me making videos on the side and then uploading them. I'm just gonna upload them straight to here. So let's see, the 24th. Okay, so that was a Friday, because yes, today is Saturday, so yesterday was Friday, and so we went to the EUSA program again, and we had a little orientation for what to do and what not to do at an internship, or basically working in Paris. And so I'll just stand a little taller. So, clothes, obviously, if you're working on a high-end place, you don't wear jeans and stuff. You actually try to dress up because it's Paris. Everything's class A. And in French, you don't, so in English, there's the word you, and you use it in a formal setting and an informal setting. Well, in French and in most other languages, there's a formal way to say it and then an informal way to say it. So the formal way is vous, and then the informal way is tu. So for the French, since they're kind of reserved, it's more like you can't just automatically say tu. You have to, wait till they say, well, don't worry, you can call me tu instead of vous, don't worry about it. But you kind of have to get on their level, and you have to be like nice and stuff, if you rub them the wrong way, they're not even going to bother saying, hey, dude. They'll like correct you if you start saying tu. They'll be like, you should still call me vous. I wrote close twice. Interesting. Another thing they really heavily emphasized was the whole networking aspect. I don't like to call it networking. It makes it sound... I like to use the word making connections, making relationships, because it sounds more social. I feel like networking is a mean to utilize. It just sounds a little harsh for me, so I use the word relationships. You make friends. And then, hey, if they think you're good to work with, they'll, want to hire you. And yeah, the same thing. It's like the French, Europeans are kind of like, well, deadline is more like a guideline, whereas in America, it's like if you don't have it by the deadline, we all know what happens. So we had that kind of going on, and then we were done with EUSA for the day. So I realized it's been a bit cold, so I had to buy myself another pair of long pants, which was fun. We went to Zara, which is a very, very nice store. It's kind of like H&M style, so it's a bit on the inexpensive side, but not that inexpensive. So I bought these pair of long, skinny jeans, which actually fit me because, funny story, I have no butt. Most people that know me know I have no butt, but neither do the French, so their pants fit me. Funny story, because my American pants never fit me right, but I'm a little excited because they fit me pretty well, and they're like a dark blue because I like colors. Anyways, that was TMI, but they were like 30 euros, which translates to about like $35-ish, so it was a bit splurgy, but it works for people without a butt. Yay! And then we went, Kat, one of the girls on the internship with us, she had already been to Paris once when she did a study abroad in the south of France. She kind of did that orientation thing where you go to the host city, and then you go to the capital, and then you go to your host city. So she knew this really good kebab place. I love kebabs. They're delicious. They're kind of like, I think it's similar to a gyro. I've never really had one in the States because I've never really seen one, but in Europe they're called kebabs. Delicious. You have to make sure you go to one though where they put enough meat on it, because some of them try and rip you off, and then they're not that good because you want it with like a lot of meat. Because what they do is like, so basically it's Greek, Turkish, that kind of area. So it's got this meat on a spit and it just revolves that way, and they cut it off that way. Kind of like in my Big Fat Greek Wedding. Now that I think about it, I don't actually know if they show it in there. So it gets the crunchiness of the outside, it's just delicious, just amazing. So, right, we had a kebab and it was really good. And then we went to, oh right, we went to Mont Mort, which is like Mount Death, I believe. It's basically the city, or Montparnasse, which is basically the city where like Picasso used to live, and although Van Gogh lived there when he was in Paris with his brother Theo, my bad. Um, a bunch of crazy artists and poets and writers, and basically that whole Enlightenment movement lived there. Right now it's a really nice place. There's supposedly an actress named Dalida, and she was really famous during her time. I've never heard of her, but I actually looked up some of her music. It was pretty good. And let's see, so right now it's a ritzy place, but back then when Picasso and all those writers lived there, it was like crappy. There were pictures there, and the houses were like crooked and like falling off. They weren't houses, they were apartments. There are no houses, except for Dalida. She has a mansion, because we walked by it, and I was like, bro, that's a house. Anyways, and we also saw there are like those fountains, those water fountains. They're green with like 4 women, I believe, or just 4 people around it. It's a fountain, so like the water comes dripping down. I forget what his name is, but it starts with a W, and it's not Winston. Not Winston, because that's what I think of, but it's not him. Basically, he was this rich British guy who loved Paris, just loved it, had way too much money for himself, so he was like, you know what, I'm going to make Paris really good. Since back then water was really expensive, he was like, I'm gonna help the people of Paris by making a water fountain there. So, during the World Wars, it was kind of used as like, oh, we got the water, ha ha ha, you can't get us. Um, but at the time, this guy like made all these fountains all throughout Paris, and one of them is there. Thought that was fun. And yeah, it's a great view. That's the area where the Sacré-Cœur is, and the Sacré-Cœur was actually built. It was funded by people who wanted it, so they would like donate their hats, their purses, anything they had to get this place built. So I thought that was pretty impressive, considering one of the big faux pas was that it's a socialist place, but if they want something, they get together and they do whatever they can to fix it, to make it happen or fix it. And then we all kind of went home because we were tired and it was cold and rainy, typical weather. And then Caitlin and I were like, we're gonna eat dinner out, because our host family were like, we're gonna eat on our own, and I was kind of like, well, I want a comforting food, so we found at our area, like right down the street somewhere, this is really good. I believe it's called Pizza de Ateu. Don't know what that means, but this cafe was so good. I had a carbonara dish. A cat had the same thing, because like I love carbonara. It's one of my favorite. It's basically a pasta, and the carbonara is a sauce, and it's cream with ham, and some put onions in it, some don't. I personally like it with onions, but this one didn't have onions, and it was still incredible. And like a little bit of seasoning. It's really simple, but it's really hard to find really good carbonara. I don't know why. It's a simple ingredient. You can make it yourself. I've never made it because, again, cooking, not one of my fortes. But it was so good, and we just, like, it took a while for it to come, of course. And basically the restaurants here at night, if you go out, so the French eat dinner rather late. So this is at like maybe 8 or 9, possibly 9:30 even. I don't really remember what time, 'cause I don't really have a watch. But it was really good. And Caitlin had pasta with mushroom. Sorry, I'm at that phase where I like keep mixing up words from different languages, but she had pasta with mushroom sauce. So good. I know Americans don't really like mushrooms. I didn't like mushrooms, and then I kind of like went to China, and I kind of like helped my mushroom phase, and it's actually really good. Just go and try them. They look weird. They kind of smell weird too, but so do a lot of other things, like cheese, which is also really good here. So we're sitting at this restaurant eating, and we're like eating, eating our food. We're kind of talking in English. We're those kind of Americans next to all these other loud French people eating dinner. They basically cram everybody they can into these you know, they have like a table like this, and you're like, oh, you're 3 people, 1, 2, 3. Oh, you're 2 people, 1, 2, and just like that. So this one guy sitting next to us, he was all by himself. I call him Monsieur Francais because I don't really know his name. But he like started talking to us, and he was like, well, where are you from? And what are you doing here? And so he was like, well, you know what, you ladies, you can't just let you sit here. So he bought us all a glass of wine before we left because he was like, I want to get you guys a drink. And he was like, what do you want? And so I go like, well, what do the French have? And he was like, well, the French usually have coffee. And we were like, well, if we have coffee, we're never going to bed. Like, the coffee here is really strong. So he got us some wine, and it was actually really good, which I thought was really nice. You know, the French have been really nice, but we have noticed that it's only been guys, which is fine. You know, cute girl sitting, guy. It's a fact. It's a fact. And then, right, so then we went home, and that was already 11 o'clock, so, like, we just went to bed. Took me a while to fall asleep, though. It sucks when you can't fall asleep and you really want to sleep. But then today, we met at 10:10 at Cheval Station, which is, like, 15 minutes that way, and we went to Versailles. If you go to Versailles, wear comfy shoes. It's a lot of walking. Totally worth it, but, don't really, I mean, it took us like 7 hours for this whole ordeal, which I totally don't regret. Just that I was so tired. I came back and took a nap. Let's see, what notes did I write? So we walked through all the gardens. Obviously, we walked through Versailles. Like, that goes without that. Totally go see that thing. Wow. I think it's one of the most expensive, like, monuments to see in the world. Totally worth it, even if he did make his country even more bankrupt. I have to watch the battery again because it's almost dying. Got 13 minutes. I can do this. So we also met up with the 2 other students that are with the program, Kelsey and Paige. They're from Michigan State. Really nice. Paige's French is, I wish I could speak French like that. Then we had lunch at this little restaurant. It was really cute. I had a pizza, because, like, the pizzas here, it's not like you get this huge pizza and everybody takes a slice. It's like a small little pizza, always thin crust, never stuffed. And I had the Napolitan pizza. It had, like, tuna on it and, like, 4 olives. And, you know, the usual peppers and cheese and all that jazz. It was delicious. And then you put this little oil on it. Delicious. Anyways, sorry, I'm getting tired. We also saw Marie Antoinette's servant quarters because, obviously, you know, Marie Antoinette's servants couldn't just, you know, live in a little apartment. They got, like, their own little houses. I would definitely go see that. It's a bit out of the way. Don't go on the little tram. They have, like, a little train that's on wheels. You know, it kind of looks like a train, and they drive you there. It's like €3.70. Don't do it. It's not that long of a walk. On the map, it looks really far, but it's not. So we also saw the oranges, because God forbid the French had something, the French didn't have something that other people had, so they have this orange garden. Yeah, I know I'm running out of battery. Okay, I'm gonna wrap it up. So we saw the orange garden and the water game. It's not called a water game. The water fountain thing. It was under construction, so it wasn't really worth it. It was just a water fountain. But hopefully, it's not going to be done before we leave, but if you go there, obviously go see the water game. I'm going to call it a water game. And, yeah. As I said, I could wrap it up real quick. So, that was it. And, as I said, the videos are going to be out of order. Currently, May 19th is loading. Fun stuff. But it's going to take a few days for it to load, because I'm not going to let my computer sit here all day and load. But they'll be they'll be uploaded soon, and then I'll just, you know, let you guys look at it if you want to look at it. Don't have to. Again, today is May 25th. And yeah, bonne soirée.